Yahawah, Yahawah, Kalala Shai, Tawada Yahawah, the brothers the apostles of James Script and Stone. The brothers out there pushing this work in sincerity and in honesty. Shalom to the helps and the sisters. I just want to do a video. And I think I'm gonna make the title is Other Gods Are Idols, right? Because you have these other nations that were not chosen of Yahawah Shai, right? Because we were chosen to be a special people. Israel was chosen to be a special people unto the Lord, and with the other nations, He basically gave them over to do and worship whatsoever they want to worship, right? So let's get the scripture. This is Psalms 96 and verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens, right? Here these other gods are idols. Let me get the word idol. Let me just pause it a bit. Yeah, so you forgot to load up the search engine, so let's search it. Idol from Merriam-Webster, an object of extreme devotion, a representation or symbol of an object of worship, right? A false god, a likeness of something, right? So in that sense, it's a false god, broadly a false god, yeah, right? A false god. Why? Because these things that are worship are not powerful, or better yet, has no might. They can't do anything to defend themselves, right? They can't be superior as the Most High, right? As the scripture mentioned, the Lord kill and make alive, and you best believe that. Let me get it as well. Alright, so this is Deuteronomy 32 and verse 39. You say, see, know that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So the Lord even make it clear, right? Yahawah makes it clear, yeah? There's no power beside Him, right? And we need, if you go deeper, there's no power beside Yahawah Shai, right? The first creature, right? That made everything else, right? So yeah, Yahawah is the Almighty, right? Yahawah Shai is the Son and the first creature. So this is 1 Corinthians 8 and verse 4. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many, right? Yes, no, verse 4 it says, as concerning therefore the eating of these things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one. For though they be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many, right? So there's no other power but the Lord Yahawah, right? And then you have Yahawah Shai, right? There's no other power. Everything else, um, everything is subjected to Yahawah. Why, um, and yahawashi, right? Everything is subjected to them, right? Everything is subjected, and yahawashi is subjected to the Lord Yahweh, to the Most High Yahweh. Yes, so these idols are nothing. These, it's, and in the last it's going to be proven, but let's get an example to show through these Bible scriptures, right? This is Bel and the Dragon 1, and yeah, verse 5, verse 4. It says, and the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it, but Daniel worshipped his own power. And the king said unto him, why doest not thou worship Bel? Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living power, who had created the heaven and earth, and had sovereignty over all flesh. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Bel is a living God? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Right? So he assumed that Bel eat and drink, yeah, and even things that he eat and drink cannot compare to the Lord Yahawah because they can't create anything, The Lord Yahawah creates. So then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. So the king was wroth and called for his priests, and said unto them, if ye tell me not who this is that devoted these expenses, ye shall die. Right? But if ye can certify me that Bel devoured them, then Daniel shall die, for he had spoken blasphemy against Bel. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. Now the priests of Bel were 70, beside their wife and children. And the king went with Daniel into the temple of Bel. So Bel's priest said, Lo, we go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat, and make ready the wine, and shut the door fast, and seal it with thine own signet. And tomorrow, when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Bel had eaten all, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us. And they little regarded, for under the table they had made a privy entrance, whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things. Right? So even those priests knew that Bel was no god, right? But they play on and compel the king, right? And basically take the king for a fool, right? It's so when they went forth, so when they were gone forth, the king set meat before Bel. Now Daniel had commanded his servant to bring ashes, and those that strewed throughout, and they strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with king's signet, and so departed. And in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they were want to do, and did eat and drink up all. In the morning betime the king arose, and Daniel with him. The king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, Yea, O king, they be whole. And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked up upon the table and cried with a loud voice, Great art thou, O Bel, and with thee is no deceit at all. Right? Then laughed Daniel, and he held the king that he should not go in, and said, Behold now the pavement, and mark well whose footsteps are those. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was hungry. So yeah, the king saw that he was nothing but a clone right then, because a idol cannot move there, right? And the scripture said, so yo, if you a idol, if it fall over, it can't help up itself. You see, and took the priests with their wives and children, who shew him the privy door where they came in, and consumed such things as were upon the table. Therefore the king slew them, and delivered Bel into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. And in that same place there was a great dragon, which they of Babylon worship, right? And yeah, you can continue because it's long. You can continue to read, but the end all be all. The dragon was slew, right? And they even cast Daniel in the lion's den, as you can see, and that lion was hungry, but they did not hurt Daniel, right? So that showed the power of the Lord and how great he was. You have a account as well. I can't remember where it is, where I don't think I can find it, Yeah, we're basically, let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can. If I don't find it, we'll just close it there. Okay, alright. I think this is gonna be our next long reading. Yep, it's gonna be our next long reading, but it's gonna make the point even better. Where to start? Okay, I think I'm gonna try to jump. Around. Alright, let's just start at 24 and then jump on about. Okay, let's start at 23. Say, verse 22. You say, then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I, only remain a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophet are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And call ye on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord, and the God that answer by fire, let him be, be God. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. Right? It's gonna be a long read, so let's just jump. And it came to Alright, let's just continue. And Elijah said unto the prophet of Baal, choose you one bullock of yourself, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, say no Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answer. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them, and said, cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth, and must be awaked. And they cry aloud, and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass, when the midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regard. And Elijah said unto all the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down. And Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribe of the son of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and he made a trench about the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid it on the wood, and said, fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, do it the second time. And they did it the second time. So Elijah drenched that altar with water, drenched the sacrifice with water. And he said, do it the third time, the 3 time, And they did it the third time, and the waters run round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass that the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that Elijah the prophet came near, and said, Lord, Yahawah Bashem yahawashi, of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known unto this day that thou art Yahawah, the Halahayim, right? The power, right? In Israel. No, the power in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art Yahawah, the power, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stone, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their face, and they said, the Lord, he is Yahawah, the Lord, he is the power, He is Yahawah. He is the power, right? So it shows, right, that the Lord is all powerful. He does every work. You couldn't pray to false idols or more, but the Lord will stand, right? I think there's one more. I don't think we're ready. Judges. Yeah, this is Judges 10 and verse 13. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen, let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. Right? Yeah. So the Lord gonna say, yo, make your idols them deliver you in the time, because you trust in all these other idols which has no power. Yeah. As you read before, these other nations cut themselves, right, and they had dry fire, dry wood, and there was no fire came down, yeah, right? But Elijah drenched his sacrifice with water 3 times, right, and pray unto the Lord, and the Lord sent fire to do what? To show his power, right? Yeah, so the Lord is different from these idols, yeah. Way different. These idols, even you more powerful than these idols. So I hope this video was edifying. Kalalal Yahawah Bashem Yoshai Bashem Rakakodash Shalom.